Okay, I'll now bring the regular evening meeting of the Township Langley Council to order. And now if I could just find my agenda. Here we go. The first item is the adoption and receipt of the agenda items. Could I have a motion, please? Councillor Qualley and second by Councillor Davis. All those in favor? Opposed and carried. The next item is the adoption of the minutes of the regular evening council meeting of April 24th and the public hearing of April 24th. Councillor Fox moves it. Councillor Long seconds it. Any errors or omissions? All those in favor? Opposed and carried. And so now we go to presentations, and very pleased to welcome two dragon boat teams that have made our community proud. The Fast and Furious Light, and Titanium, each paddled to gold medals at the Pan American Club Crew Championships on Friday, March the 17th to Sunday, March the 19th in the city of Ponce, Puerto Rico. Congratulations on that. The Titanium paddlers won all 7 of their heats en route to capturing gold in all 3 of their distances, including the 200 meter, the 500 meter, and the 2,000 meter. And the Fast and Furious Light DB10 team was formed with seasoned paddlers, but only 3 had ever experienced competition at an international level. The first medal that the Fast and Furious Light won was the gold in the 500 meter, where the come-from-behind win make up a 2.7 second deficit. Now, 2.7 seconds, how long is that in a dragon boat? Very long. That's a long time. Yeah, you got a few lengths between them. Good. The team then took bronze in the long 2,000 meter distance. Many of the team have never raced in competition. So congratulations. And you know, I felt this was so important. The way that you exemplify fitness in our community and take it to that level of international competition. And yesterday we just had our 55th annual Langley Walk, which is a showcase of fitness, and a lot of community come out to that, and it's just we want to encourage that. And what you do is you provide role models for all of us who may just sit at the couch and watch too much TV, and instead of getting out and doing some paddling or some other exercise. So thank you very much.
Look at all that jewelry they got.
I know.
Amazing.
Look at the medals. So we have some certificates. So what we'll do is we'll call you up and present a certificate to you on behalf of Langley Council, Township Langley Council. And if you want to give me a hand. Thanks. 2 teams. One you have in your hand. Titanium. So what we'll do is we'll ask you to come up and stand here by team, and we'll get a photo. Marine set. And Linda Dixon. What side do you paddle on? Right. The right side? Yes. Okay. Oh, it's very well. Congratulations. Manuela Martini. Please forgive me if I don't get the name pronounced. Welcome to my world. Next one's really tough.
You can handle this one.
I don't know. Connie Thompson. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Will you take that one? Now is the Fast and Furious. Light. very much. So they're going to reshoot the other team. There was a latecomer, so this is our new team photo. Can I give you
I heard her come in and say she couldn't find it, she was lost, and they were like, oh no.
Yeah, apparently I could find my way to Puerto Rico, but not here. But I kept our
Don't need this now. Okay, so now we'll carry on with the rest of our meeting. So there are no delegations and no reports to council, and move to bylaws for first and second reading. So F1 is rezoning application 100458 and bylaw 5284. Could I have a motion, please? Councillor Espero and second by Councillor Fox. Any discussion? I got to get my thing up here. Councillor Arneson?
Yes, thank you, Worship. Through you to staff, I'm wondering, it wasn't really self-evident to me about the nature and the rationale for the stairwells identified in the report. So if somebody could please just give me a synopsis of why they're in there.
Your Worship, the proponent, the applicant, has requested a variance to the side yard setback provisions of the zoning bylaw in order to accommodate the stairwell, as you can see on the slide there.
Yes. Okay, I'm just not very familiar, I guess, with that, style of design. And so I guess I ask myself that in retrospect, if the buildings are already under construction, why couldn't they have made a smaller building footprint in order to accommodate the side yards?
Mr. Steffi, I think it was was it an oversight by the designer at the time? It said in the report. Could you clarify that?
I don't believe it was an oversight, Your Worship. The excavation for the foundation may have commenced prior to Council's decision to allow fee simple subdivisions in the area. As you may recall, this is an area that is currently zoned RU1, which allows for 2 dwelling units. So the foundation excavation may have preceded Council's decision to allow subdivisions or rezoning to accommodate future subdivisions into 2 fee simple lots.
Thank you.
Just a follow-up question then. Are they substantially completed, or are we at the preliminary phase, do you know, of development?
They have not substantially completed, Your Worship. It's just a foundation excavation that's been done. The subdivision hasn't occurred yet. It's subject to Council's approval of the zoning bylaw.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question on F1. And that carries with Councillor Arneson opposed. We move to F2, and that's Aldergrove Community Plan Amendment, Application 100138 and Bylaw 5283. Can I have a motion, please? Councillor Fox and Councillor Long seconds. Any discussion on F2? Councillor Fox.
Yes, it's time this particular area was developed now that we have sewer and water, and I think this is a great move forward, and I'm pleased to see it will mirror the subdivisions to the east, so I'm in favor of this. It's time to increase the population of Aldergrove.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Arneson.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. Through you to staff. I have a question, and maybe it should be self-evident, but I don't know the answer to, so I'm asking. Why is it that this area wasn't originally included in the updated Aldergrove Community Plan?
Mr. Seffi.
Your Worship, we don't currently have an updated community plan for Aldergrove. What we have is the original Aldergrove plan, which dates back to 1979, as I recall. And then what Council did several years ago was approve an amendment to the Aldergrove Core Plan, which only deals with the downtown area, the core of Aldergrove.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I do remember the updated plan, but it's only in reference to the core. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Whitmarsh.
Yeah, it's, my question through your worship to staff is when we, in the report, it refers to these lands being designated for low-density residential purposes. Would you be able to just remind me what low-density residential purposes means?
Steffi.
Your Worship, that would be, I'm looking for confirmation from staff, it would be 4 to 8 UPA? Up to 9 UPA, Your Worship.
Up to 9.
Yeah.
So these will be like the lots that are to the east. Are these like 7 or 10,000 sort of square foot lots, and is that what this would be similar
Well,
to
it
that?
would be the same designation, Your Worship. I think could go as lower than 7,000 because 7,000 square foot lots would result in about 6 units per acre. So this would be slightly smaller,
So in the
parcel
neighborhood
sizes.
of about 4 to 5,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question on F2. And it carries with Councillor Arneson opposed. F3 is the Aldergrove Community Plan Amendment, Application 100136, Quickland Park Developments Limited, and Bylaw 5282. Could I have a motion, please? Councillor Long, second by Councillor Fox. Discussion on F3. Seeing none, I'll call the question on F3. It carries with Councillor Arneson opposed. And we move on to bylaws for first, second, and third reading. G1 is highway closing and dedication removal. Bylaw number 5182. Tawana. Could I have a motion, please? Councillor Davis, second. Councillor Qualley, discussion on G1. Seeing none, I'll call the question. It carries unanimously. And we move on to bylaws for consideration at third reading. H1 is rezoning application number 100466. That's Jagdeo. Bylaw number 5264. Could I have a motion, please? Councillor Fox, seconder. Have a second. Councillor Long. Discussion on H1. Seeing none, I'll call the question on H1. That carries with Councillor Arneson opposed. And we move on to H2, rezoning application 100456. This is Edgar Woodhaven Homes Incorporated, bylaw 5269. Could I have a motion, please? Councillor Long, second by Councillor Whitmarsh. Discussion on H2. Councillor Arneson.
Yes, thank you, Worship. I do have a few questions for you to staff, please. So I notice in the plan design there is a laneway, and I'm wondering if the current zoning allows for a garage with potential residents above in that particular subdivision layout?
Steffi?
No, Your Worship, it does not. That would require a different zoning.
Okay. And I don't know, maybe staff would be aware, I'm not, if there are any parking issues in and around that area, if we're increasing the density by putting in another 24 lots there.
Not, Your Worship, no, nothing
Not
that
we're
staff
aware
is
of.
aware of.
Another question I had about the laneway is parking allowed in the laneway?
No, Your Worship, parking is not allowed on the
No
laneway.
interior parking there, okay. All right, that answered my questions, thank you.
Thank you. No further discussion? I'll call the question on H2. And that carries with Councillor Arneson opposed. And we move on to bylaws for final adoption. And I1 is hotel room tax 2% levy, bylaw number 5285. Could I have a motion, please? Councillor Qualley, second by Councillor Long. Discussion on I1. Seeing none, I'll call the question. And that carries with Councillor Arneson and Councillor Davis opposed. And so now we move on to the mayor's report. Look at the audience I got today. Just got to find the mayor's report. Here we go. So welcome here, everyone. And it's a little bit of a report on the goings-on the last couple of weeks. On Wednesday, April 26th, I was in Victoria at the BC Achievement Awards presentation ceremony. And the awards ceremony was hosted by the Honourable Judith Guichon, Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia. And I was fortunate to have been on the selection committee this year, and we had a very challenging time to select the 21 winners out of the many, couple of hundred applications that came through. Many incredible individuals within our province. So it was a great experience to be part of that selection committee, to just see all the great work that's done throughout the province, both volunteers and people who are working in our areas. So, and we had some good local winners. On Thursday, April 27th, was our annual Municipal Awareness Day. We had 1,800 school children attend and partake in activities and learn a little bit more about what the local government does for township residents. This included mock council meeting. And I'd like to thank Councillor Fox, Councillor Whitmarsh, Councillor Qualley, and Councillor Davis for running the council meetings with 8 very young council members. And it signifies the 144th birthday of the Township of Langley. That evening was also the annual Langley RCMP Volunteer Appreciation Dinner at the Langley Golf Centre. And these volunteers give of their time to help our local police and truly make a difference in the lives of others. They serve with Block Watch, Speed Watch, or Citizens Patrol programs, or in a community police office. And they help organize special events and support victims of crimes. Their efforts have a great impact, and we certainly appreciate all that our volunteers do. On Friday, April 28th, was the annual day of mourning for workers who are killed, injured, or get sick on the job. I attended the moment of silence at the Operations Centre along with Councillor Qualley and learned about employee Martin Soten, who was operating a rubber tire roller on October 7th, 1985, when the road shoulder gave away. The roller did not have rollover protection, and Martin died on the job. Another incident occurred on February 25th, 2008, when Terry Mitchell, a contract flagger, was working with a road crew and was hit by a vehicle. Terry also died on the job. It's important that we remember that going to work may seem like just another day, but accidents on the job can cost lives. So it was very fitting that we had a moment of silence both at the Operations Centre and at the Civic facility here. On Friday, April the 28th, I visited Miss Jansen's class at West Langley Elementary School, where I selected the winner of the art contest held for this year's Mayor's Christmas card. Grade 6 student Iris Yu created a wintry Langley scene that we'll be using this year. And I'd like to thank the entire class and Ms. Jansen and all the other local young artists for participating in this contest. And they all submitted fantastic works of art. It was difficult to choose one. On Saturday, April 29th, was the Metro Vancouver Council of Councils meeting held at the Coast Hotel. Councillor Fox spoke to the Lower Mainland mayors and councillors on the homeless position paper, and this was very informative, and we appreciate Councillor Fox for being our expert on the subject matter and for participating in the homelessness task force that the regional district recently had. On Saturday afternoon was the annual Nickel Enhancement Society Chinook Salmon Release. It was great to attend and be part of the annual event where 28,000 salmon Chinook fry were released, and volunteers on hand provided great tours, and it was very well attended. And you can see there with Councillor Long with our 50-year anniversary Metro Parks T-shirts on. Later in the afternoon, I attended the Walnut Grove Banner Project reception, which was hosted by the Langley Centennial Museum. These works of art were created by local students and will be adorning the streets of Walnut Grove. The 7 works of art chosen for banners are pieces by Kia Lilies Brown from Dorothy Peacock Elementary, David Kim from Dorothy Peacock Elementary, Elisa Borton from Alex Hope Elementary, Victoria Carmichael and Maya Desmond Murray, Ecole des Voyageurs, and Trevor McLean, Ecole des Voyageurs, Mackenzie Kingston, Alex Hope Elementary, and Sasha Neufeld, Dorothy Peacock Elementary. An 8th banner was chosen through voting in the museum's foyer and was awarded the People's Choice Award. This went to Raina Zale of Alex Hope Elementary. The Township of Langley plans to have all banners printed and installed along 80th Avenue before the end of the school year. The evening of Saturday, April 29th, was the annual Rotary Lobster Fest in Aldergrove. The funds raised go towards programs in Aldergrove, along with the local Starfish Backpack program, which was created in response to teachers who knew that their students were coming to class Monday morning hungry. Now over 263 backpacks are packed with food and are going home over the weekend with students from 22 different schools. And that's throughout, I think, Councillor Fox, that'd be Langley and Abbotsford, those numbers? No, just Aldergrove, but Aldergrove, yeah. On Sunday, April 30th, Councillor Whitmarsh and I competed in the annual Furry Tail Endings foot race, and I believe we were tied for first place. Yeah, pretty much, eh? Oh, that's always your dust. This was the 2nd annual event, and it continues to grow. There's a great turnout this year, and the fundraising exceeded expectations. So congratulations to the Langley Animal Protection Society for again organizing a great family dog-cat event.
There's cats running?
Well, they were around.
That would have been awesome.
Little cat on a leash. Should have brought my cats out there. On Thursday, May 4th, was the North Langley Networking Open House, hosted by the Langley Chamber of Commerce at Redwoods Golf Course. It was great to drop in and meet some old friends and make some new ones. Chamber President Scott Johnson and retired Langley Times editor Frank Buchholz were the honored guests and members of the Chamber of Commerce. Frank is the North Langley representative on the Chamber, and Scott is the president. On Friday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo was also Langley Overdose Strategic Planning meeting, and I was pleased to attend and discover ways in which Fraser Health and our community groups are working to combat the fentanyl epidemic. On Sunday, May 7th, was the 55th annual May Day Walk, and the event took place at Willoughby Community Park with both a 5K and a 10K walk or run. The event is a lot of fun each year, and it's great to see our communities keeping this annual tradition going. We had about 900 participants show up on a beautiful sunny day yesterday. And Councillor Fox was there, along with myself and Councillor Whitmarsh, and it was a great walk. This morning we hosted the annual fibromyalgia flag raising here at Civic Facility, and the walk kicks off on Monday, June 12th, from the head office and thrift shop in Aldergrove. Upcoming events, we have the Upcycling Design Challenge Awards reception on May 18th, 2017, at the Willowbrook Shopping Centre. The May Day Parade is Monday, May 21st in Fort Langley. And the BC Farm Museum on Monday, May 21st, is unveiling their new interactive display program. So with that is my mayor's report. Oh, I know. I was about to get to this one. This is one where I couldn't attend, and Councillor Fox and Mr. Story attended on my behalf to help the McHappy Day was that on 84th Avenue and 200th McDonald's? Yeah. And Councillor Qualley, you attended, looks like a bunch of short people there.
Myself included. It's been pointed out to me that I'm barely taller than the second graders. That was the second grade class at, just up the hill, Langley Elementary,
okay,
just up the hill here. They were doing civic engagement on the same day as the civic engagement here, but this class couldn't come to the municipal facility, so I was there. And I was really sorry to miss McHappy Day this year. Last year I owned that drive-through, so yeah. Next year I'll be back.
All right, well, that's my mayor's report. Thank you very much. And so now is there anything to add from Metro directors or anybody else? Councillor Fox?
I just wanted to draw colleagues, council members' attention to today's distribution list. There is the board in brief, Metro Vancouver. I won't dwell on it. It's there for your reference. And if you've got any questions, ask Councillor Long or myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there, Councillor Qualley. Oops, Councillor Qualley. There you go, Councillor Qualley.
Thank you. I just wanted to remind council that this week at the LMLGA, we'll be reviewing the and voting on the resolutions that'll be forwarded to UBCM. So there's some interesting resolutions in your packages. So I would encourage you maybe to have a quick read through those before we get to the conference, so you can have an informed vote in that. So I'll look forward to seeing you all there.
Thank you. So, Councillor Long. We're not at other business yet. We're just finishing up the reports.
Well, when we're at other business, I have a notice of motion, Your Worship.
Okay. So, Councillor Arneson, are you other business? And Councillor Fox, you other business? Or? Okay. So now we'll go to other business. Councillor Long.
Well, Your Worship, I apologize to Council. First of all, I should have had this printed out so that you would all have it, because I know I appreciate that when it happens. It could be on the screen. I've emailed it to you all, but it's a notice of motion. But, Your Worship, I'm asking for Council perhaps to consider making it a motion because it's slightly time sensitive. It's about the Canada 150. We do have members of Council have been appointed to the leadership team, and I apologize again for not bringing this up sooner. But seeing how we don't meet for 2 or 3 weeks, it's probably wise that we entertain this motion now if Council so wishes to. And the motion reads that whereas Canada Day 150 is approaching very soon, the Township of Langley wants to make it easy and fun for the community to gather and to celebrate. And whereas events will be held in Willoughby and Fort Langley with the support from the Township of Langley grants as well as staff, and so therefore let it be resolved that Council make available to other communities in the Township an opportunity to organize a gathering and a community celebration by providing up to $1,000 from the grant fund, which we have, for pins, decorations, cakes, entertainment, etc., for a Canada Day event, and that Council directs staff to reach out to community nonprofit groups within the Township of Langley to apply for the special one-time only Township of Langley Canada 150 grant. So I make that motion, Your Worship, if you'll accept it.
Certainly. If there's a seconder, Councillor Davis seconds it.
And maybe just, so you know, we did have our presentation on grants, and we do have some extra funds available in the grant fund. It doesn't have to come from council contingency, and I think you'll also find, if you check with staff, as I have, that we were beneficiaries of other grants from the federal government, etc. So there's a fair bit of money there. Now, the whole concept of this is for those that don't want to travel all the way to Willoughby or Fort Langley, although they're welcome to, could walk down to a flagpole in their community and hoist a flag, have some cake, maybe enjoy some celebrations and meeting up with neighbors. So it's a modest event that can be funded through this $1,000. And I don't think there would be any more than 4 or 5 potential sites that would be chosen amongst Murrayville, Aldergrove, Brookswood perhaps, and other areas. So,
thank you. I've opened up the discussion. Anybody wish to discuss that? Seeing none, I'll call the question.
Sorry.
Somebody wish to stop. Sorry, I'll cancel it. Councillor Qualley.
I was curious about the application process, who would be, you said, chosen, how that would work and what that would look like, because I'm not sure if staff has the ability to even take that on right now, if it's going to be an arduous process.
well, I hope it wouldn't be an arduous process. I think the motion mentions that staff reach out to nonprofit groups through the webpage or whatever, and applications can be brought in. There would only be one celebration in each community, but I'm sure could be a business association, chamber of commerce, or a local nonprofit group that would host this event.
Councillor Qualley?
But what if a bunch of...
You're turning yourself off. Hang on, let me get back. There you go.
What if a bunch of people, nonprofits and business groups apply from each community? How would it be chosen?
They could work together. That'd be great. It's only going to be one in each community.
Okay, I think things like this should actually have a plan, so sorry, but I'm not going to support it only because it doesn't have a plan, and I think it could get a little bit chaotic, and we have a grant process for this reason. We've known Canada was going to have a 150th birthday for 149 years, and we could have maybe come up with a plan to deal with that, so I'm sorry.
144 years.
140.
Okay, so with that, I'll call a question on M1. And it carries to Councillor Whitmarsh, Councillor Qualley opposed. Is there any other business? Councillor Arneson?
Yes, thank you, Worship. I have 3 items to put forward. The first one is requesting a staff report at a future CPC meeting on the BC Energy Step Building Code changes that have come into effect in April of this year. So that's number 1. Number 2 is also requesting a staff report on inclusionary housing at a future CPC meeting to consider options to provide affordable housing for residents, to include the provision of housing either by rent or ownership to be included in new developments. So those are the two for CPC, future consideration. And the final one is actually initiated by something I read in the newspaper. So it's looking for further information and consideration of potentially installing a security caregiver at the Derrick Doubleday Arboretum due to recent vandalism there.
Mr. Backen, these are notice of motions? I'm sorry, Mr. Backen, this is a notice of motion, or do we need to, is there anything we could act on tonight, or just leave it for?
Your Worship, the CPC agenda is controlled by the mayor himself, so if you wanted to process that either by council motion or by your own decision, we could deal with those.
Okay. And the other one, the security caregiver, that would be a notice of motion to require staff to report back to council. So we'll leave that one as a notice of motion. So on 1 and 2, if you want to move those. Yes. Okay, and second to having a staff report to CPC regarding, sorry, the first one was regarding which?
The first one was the step code, the
step
BC
code?
building
Yes.
step code.
Thank you. And the other one is on inclusive housing. Right?
Inclusionary, yeah.
Yeah. If I could have a
Report or presentation, because it's going to CPC, just so we know what the
your
topic is.
intention.
I guess the presentation.
Presentation is yours. Thank you. Can I have a seconder? Councilor Davis. Okay, I will. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Carries unanimously. And
I do have a other notice of motion.
sure. Okay.
Sorry. Oh, okay. And once again, I will apologize for the lateness of this, but it's coincidental with actually going to the Metro meeting in which we discussed a number of issues, including homelessness. So I wanted to put a resolution forward, and so in consultation with staff, this is what I've drafted for council's consideration. So I'll just read it verbatim. So it's entitled Renewed Call for Property Transfer Tax for Homelessness and Affordable Housing. Whereas the District of Saanich introduced resolution number B109 in 2007 for the purpose of affordable housing with a prescriptive remedy of 20% of the property transfer tax to be annually directed to a pooled fund to be administered by UBCM to address homelessness and affordable housing, and whereas the resolution was endorsed by the executive but not acted upon by the provincial government, and whereas the incidences of homelessness throughout BC have increased exponentially in the past decade, and most particularly in recent years, based on anecdotal and empirical information derived from the regional homeless count across Metro and also across the province as a whole. And whereas there is a growing financial and social burden on local governments who are not statutorily mandated to provide below-market housing and deal with homelessness issues, but are nonetheless increasingly forced to spend inordinate and extraordinary resources relative to their tax base in order to deal with the rising homeless population, while concomitantly grappling with affordability issues. And whereas the provincial property transfer tax has increased by 44% between 2014-15 and 2015-16 and is forecast to increase by over 50% between 2015-16 and 16-17, therefore be it resolved, the Township of Langley request all BC municipalities, the FCM, UBCM, the LMLGA, to adopt this resolution requesting that a defined percentage of funds arising from the PTT be attributed to a specific affordable housing and homelessness reserve fund in order to address these issues proportionately facing local governments throughout the province of BC. So.
Thank you. Okay, Councillor Fox, any other business?
Yeah, much lighter note. I just wanted to acknowledge the Langley Times' recent inclusion in their paper. And I just bring it up because in the back 2 pages, it's celebrating Langley seniors and being on the senior committee. This is a very important thing. We have Seniors Week coming up June the 1st to 7th. I'll be at FCM, but it does also acknowledge the fact that we do have the Brookswood Senior Center, which is a very well-established and well-used facility. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Thank you to the Langley Times.
Thank you.
She stopped typing when I said that.
That's a story in itself. Is there any other business? Seeing none, a motion to terminate. Councillor Davis moves to terminate. Is there a seconder? Councillor Fox, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. So the regular evening meeting is terminated, and we'll now move into the meeting for public hearing, but we'll just give a minute for staff to get things